Can't even fathom the risk that she took. January 14th, 2018, two girls escaped their family home. Their hearts pounding, they ran for their lives. One of the girls, who was only 13, decided the risk was too much and she turned back. But one of the young girls, only 17, named Jordan Turpin, kept going. She ran to the next street and she called 911. Operator asked her address and she didn't know, but she read it from a piece of paper. Jordan only completed first grade. She did not know what the numbers or letters or any of it meant. She proceeded to ask for help for her and her 12 siblings. She said, "Hurry, 2 of my siblings are being chained to their beds right now." First, the police didn't take it seriously. They thought this kid was just playing a joke. But when the police officer got there, Jordan showed him pictures from her home, and it was horrific. The officer also saw how small and starving Jordan was. The officer called for backup, and they headed to the house as quick as they could. What they found was a house that was pretty much a torture chamber for all of these children. It's all dated back years and years, so let's start at the beginning. David Turpin was a computer engineer, 23 when he married 16-year-old Louise. Red flag number 1. They were Pentecostal Christians, and they said that God had told them to have as many children as they could. And they did. 10 children were born between 1988 and 2015. There was 10 girls and 3 boys. In 2007, the family moved to a trailer in Texas. When I say they moved the family, they moved the children. 10 children alone in a trailer. The youngest 2, they took with them. Yes, they left these children out in the middle of nowhere to basically starve in isolation. Every once in a while, they would bring them food, but Jordan even said that they resulted to, eating sauce packets and ice. They were starving so much. Later, the property was gone through, and it was seen that there was ropes tied to the bed, filth, feces everywhere. It was horrific. In 2014, the family moved to California, and the kids thought this was going to be a new start. They had an online school that they were supposed to go to, and the mother was supposed to teach them, and they thought, okay, we're in the middle of suburbia, this is gonna be fine. They even went out and did things. They went to Disneyland, they would go on trips, and all of their matching outfits, all 13 children. On the outside, people thought, okay, this is just a big dream family. But on the inside, things were so much worse than they ever were. Children were being beat, they were being starved, they were being changed to their beds. It was unimaginable abuse. They were not allowed to go outside at all. They would sleep during the day and be up at night. They were only allowed to bathe once a year. And if they washed their hands above their wrist, they would get in trouble. There was packages and bags full of unused toys and clothes just there for the kids, but they couldn't use them. If they used them, they would get in trouble. So they just put them there to torture these children. They would make these huge meals of pies and all sorts of things, but they would not be allowed to eat any of it. They would watch their parents eat. As a 29-year-old girl who only weighed 82 pounds. Had limited vocabulary, and they were not being taught anything. So they just stayed in isolation. No friends, nothing. That was until the girl ran and found help and called 911. Jordan Turpin is a hero, and she saved all of her siblings. When they showed up at the house, the parents were shocked. They didn't know that Jordan had escaped, and they didn't know that the police were coming. Police entered, and they knew right away this was an abuse situation. They did find kids tied to their beds, and as you watch the police video, they try to get them help. They try to get out. They're trying desperately to find the keys to these locks, and it's just the most heartbreaking thing you could ever watch. David Turpin, who was 56, and Louise Turpin, who was 49, was charged with multiple things, 12 cases of child abuse, among other charges for everything that they did. The dad was even charged for an SA account, and we're not really sure where that came from. They believe the victim was underage. First, the parents pled not guilty, but they knew that there was enough evidence, so they ended up changing to a guilty plea. Both of them will be in prison for life, and a lot of people don't believe they will be paroled due to the extent of all of this. That is not where this story ends. The children were split up and put into different foster care homes. 5 of the younger siblings were put in a foster care home where they were physically abused. Some of the older kids experienced homelessness because once they were 18, they were kicked out. So they were left with no resources, not knowing how to navigate the world. They've only known inside their home. And yes, some of them were over 18, but they didn't know how to function by themselves. They had no homes, no education, no healthcare, nothing. Money, a lot of money, was donated to these children through GoFundMe and other programs, and all of that money was never seen by any of the kids. All of this money that people donated could have went to helping them get homes, education, healthcare, things that they needed. Some of the older kids are thriving right now. I can't imagine how, been through all that they've been through, but they are thriving and doing well. Younger kids were underage, so we don't know exactly what happened to all of them, and we may not know for a long time. I'm hoping that they're in happy, healthy homes and that they are doing well, but we don't know that. There's a couple things that we should learn from this story. First, if you are in an abusive situation or know someone who is, there is light at the end of the tunnel. You can get help. And I pray and hope that if you are in that situation, that the light will find you sooner rather than later. I think the biggest lesson of all is that to check on people. You don't know what's going on in your neighbor's home. You don't know what is going on down the street. People hide huge things like this. And I feel like if you see something weird, say it. These neighbors saw not any children hardly at all, but at night they would be up walking the floors. So they knew something. Like, if you know something, say something. And I know it doesn't always happen to where police come right away, but gosh, can we check on people and can we be good humans, please? I hope all the Turpin children are thriving and doing well, and I think about them often. I really do, because I can't imagine what they've been through.